So yeah, we went from the Airbnb. We had a nice little coffee and a walk and time on the playground for Fred. Got to say our goodbyes to Grammy and Dee Dee and Bob. Caitlin dropped us off at the airport, and honestly, I can't say anything bad about our process. Like getting here, everyone was so kind and gracious, helping us with our bags, making sure we were in the right lane. I packed every single one of those suitcases between 50 and 48 pounds, and I just feel like that was one of the biggest accomplishments of my life.
It was pretty amazing. It's kind of like watching your Powerball numbers fall into place.
Yeah, I was like,
this one,
bag,
this one, this
bags,
one.
3 bags, 4 bags.
It was good. Good times.
And the courier helping us even had like the one suitcase pulled aside because it was 48 pounds, but he was like, you did this. This is great. You don't need to change anything. So we got all checked in. We got our tickets. They verified we had our visas. We went through security, which was a much easier process. Like, didn't have to take any electronics out or anything. Got to our gate. Had some lunch. Wilford really wanted mac and cheese, which we couldn't find anywhere. I mean, I'm like, can you be a little less American right now? But he couldn't.
He just sets his mind on something, and then anything else is a letdown.
That and a strawberry smoothie, and I got him a strawberry milkshake, and it's not what he wanted, but he choked that milkshake down. Our flight was delayed by about an hour. Standing in line to get in the airport was the first time he kind of got fussy, but all of our flights were probably like an hour and a half later than he was used to nap or bed, so it was understandable. Got on the first flight, got all buckled in. He was watching some stuff. We were in there. He got fussy, so I pulled him onto my lap, and it was basically like sobbing to sound asleep within 30 seconds. Like, I think Ken looked over at us and was like, wait, what? Yeah. And so then he slept for like an hour and a half of that flight. We have so many crafts and art supplies from Aunt Grace. Also, the Kindle was a huge hit. And I got him some wiki sticks, which are like wax covered pieces of rope that he really enjoyed playing. And honestly, with all of the stuff that I had packed and all of the entertainment I was concerned about, having some coloring supplies, the wiki sticks, and his Kindle was the majority of what he played with. He wasn't that interested in the snacks I brought. Like, he wasn't very hungry, which is fine. He was thrilled with his Spider-Man mask. He was a champ at he had an N95 and a Spider-Man mask. He wanted to wear both of them. He had no arguments. There was really no fight with him for wearing his mask. So if a 3-year-old can do it that long, walking fast between terminals, I think we can all do it. Yeah, we got to LAX. We did have like a half marathon worth of a trek between terminals. Ken was kind of loaded down with bags, and it was hot and uncomfortable, so he kind of just booked it to the gate. Fred and I meandered at a very slow pace and occasionally ran at the top speed, or jumped, or jogged, or galloped. It varied. We had a very expensive, fine airport dinner. That flight kept getting delayed. It was originally supposed to leave at 8:50 California time, and I don't think we actually started boarding till after 10. So he was kind of starting to lose it. I was kind of starting to lose it. We were all hot and uncomfortable. But we got in the air, and same thing happened. Fred watched a little TV and then started crying and fell asleep in 30 seconds. He actually slept for about 6 hours of that 11 hour and 45 minute flight, which was amazing. And then was pretty well entertained. He started getting fussy when he woke up about his nose feeling funny and wanting a tissue, which he tends to be dramatic about blowing his nose. It's been a thing for a while. We ran out of tissues. I thought he might have just had like a dry airplane nose. And then they started deplaning. We were sitting in almost the back row, and so we kind of were taking our time because Fred was getting fussy and we were trying to figure out how to carry our bags. We were the last people off the plane. Like, they thought we were empty, and we're like, no, still walking down this aisle with Fred. We got off the plane, walked down the terminal, like got into the airport, and man, total meltdown hit. Of course, because I was carrying Fred's backpack and my backpack and my extra carry-on and our file folder full of all of our important documents to make it through customs, and Ken had that many things as well, or more things. Nobody had a hand. The terminal area wasn't super well climate controlled, so we landed in summer and it was humid and uncomfortable, and Fred was just sobbing about his nose and that he didn't want to be here. Like, high intensity sounds. So we kind of made our way through. I was trying to figure out a way to like carry him. He was hot and sweaty, so I took off his sweatshirt. Then we had another thing to try to carry. I think we probably have that, I don't know. And we were at the end of the line to go through like health checks. The perfect time to have a meltdown about your nose needing to be blown and needing to sneeze. And every time he would have one of these little outbursts, people would turn their heads and look, and then he would follow it up with, "Nobody should look at me! I don't want anybody to look at me!" So it was really fun. Some lovely security agent offered to let us through the line. No one complained, so we kind of got to the front. We were showing our COVID vaccinations, our test results that were negative. Apparently he worked himself up so much that his temperature was 38.8, which is a nice over 101 degrees. Thankfully they gave us a second and he calmed down and they rechecked his temp and it was 37. So, and there was the super kindest lady who said she was traveling without her 3-year-old, probably for this reason that Wilfred was affirming, but she was talking to him about her son's favorite trucks and the trucks Fred would get to see in New Zealand, and I think that really, like, he wasn't perfect after that, but he like turned a corner then, because there are going to be trucks for him in New Zealand. So we had a couple more spots after the health check. We did like a passport check and then a customs check, and then we had our bags x-rayed, and then we got to use the bathroom, and we got on a coach. I told Wilfred we were getting on the bus, and the driver said, "It's a coach, thank you very much." And it was lovely. The air conditioning was blasting. We had really comfortable seats. We were not crowded on the coach. A beautiful view, where we found out that we would be driving about 3 hours to Rotorua, which seemed like a bit after that trip, but also, again, Wilfred fell right asleep as soon as we started going. He slept for like the first hour and a half and then woke up much more pleasant for the next hour and a half.
And for us, it was nice to see the sights.
Yeah, and we were like, well, it's not a bad view. And again, they did such a great job with, like, so there were 5 buses total for our flight. Everyone from our flight, we were traveling as a unit, so they didn't have to like assign us to different places. It was just everybody from this flight is going to Ridges and Rotorua. So we all processed together. We all got on one of these 5 coaches. They had a bathroom break set up halfway in Hamilton Airport. They had some porta potties set up, a whole area where one bus at a time drives in. Anybody can use the bathroom. They gave everyone a bottle of water and a really full bag of snacks. The attendant would clean down the bathrooms, the next bus would go through. So they processed us through. Oh, we have another guest star. Can you say hi?
Hi.